Welcome back to It's Track Time. During our last track weekend, we stopped by Felix's garage to check and see how his GT4 RS setup was progressing. He maintains a very large collection of Porsches that are all track driven, so it's always a good idea to stop by and pick his brain about setup and current mods that he's playing with. This particular car is a pastel orange GT4 RS with orange stitching. It's a beautiful spec, and he's been progressively getting faster and faster with it. So how much camber do you have in the front on this one?
We're currently running 3.6.
So more than me. I'm running 3.4.
Okay.
And I was cording the outside of my tire, and Chris, we took it to Chris and talked to him about it, and they were saying, don't add any more camber. He said, you're overdriving it.
No.
Yeah, I think, and I talked to some of the race teams, and they were telling me, put more camber in it.
Yeah, so it's a McPherson strut car, so I think it loses camber under like various pitch and roll. So you usually want to go more camber. Like even on the dual wishbone cars.
Yeah.
So the new 992s, they say like dual wishbone cars don't need that much camber. We still stuff them like 3.6.
3.6.
3.8.
And the wear's even.
It's gonna use it.
Have you pulled a set of tires off this
so
yet?
This one needs even more camber.
Yeah, so
yes.
So you're getting more wear on the outside compared to the inside still.
Even at 3.6.
Yeah. The only thing that we've changed is the rear toe arms.
Rear toe arms.
That's it.
Camber plates?
Camber plates front and rear.
Okay.
And we have -2 in the back, and we have the regular 1.5 or so in the front of toe out. And then we're 3.4 here, and we're about 2.5 in the back of camber.
Yeah, so for base setup on this car, I'm running 0 toe front.
Oh, it's 0.
Yeah, I usually run like super diabolical. I like to run a ton of toe out, but then the car becomes super darty.
Yeah.
But it turns super well.
It turns in real nice.
And then the front, I think the rear, I have like a total of like 2.5 total mil. I know some people.
I'm in mil.
Degrees. Okay,
yeah.
As well.
Yeah, so
I run 2.5 or 2.4. Total.
So you have more toe in the back.
How much do you have rear?
2.
2.
Yeah, you're 2.5.
But that's marginal. If you're running like 4, it'd be between 2 and 2.4.
What about going less toe? What would happen?
I've heard people in these cars running toe out in the rear. Yeah, and I don't know. Some of my friends are trying crazy stuff with it, and they say it helps. But
because I think I was running 1.7, and Matt was running 2, and a lot of the spec sheets said do 2. I think Manti said 2, and Chris was like, no, I don't want to do 2. I want to do 1.7.
I'll probably move it to like 3.6 total.
You're gonna go higher toe.
I'll probably go more toe in the rear.
Okay.
And then I'll probably do like a total of 2 out in the front.
Yeah, so you're gonna go real
like
extreme.
1-1, yeah.
Okay. And then how much rear camber do you have?
3. It's right at 3.
3. So you got another half degree.
And,
so
what you're chasing too is you don't want to have a big split between rear camber and front camber.
Okay.
So usually 5/10, 6/10 is okay.
Okay. So basically, it sounds like I need more camber front and rear.
Yeah.
And I may not have to use the thrust bushings to get the front camber.
No.
Okay.
No. So you should use the tension arms.
The tension arms, okay.
And the reason you also want to do the tension arms is I don't know if you've seen the ones that you have on your car. It has like a teardrop shape, and on the older cars, it has a solid rectangle shape.
Okay.
The ones on these cars stock are known to break.
Okay.
So
we'll look into that.
For safety.
Okay.
Like they'll last a few sessions, whatever. But if you're gonna keep on pounding laps in it, you need to swap them.
Okay, so we'll do that.
The best ones, if you don't have them, would be from Emotion. Like if money's no object, you should do the Emotion ones.
Out of California.
Yes.
Okay.
They're good. They're solid. They're Porsche looking.
Okay. And then the studs for the calipers, I'm going to do that.
Yes.
After watching you last night.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good change.
Yeah, that's for the calipers.
And is there any other changes you've done?
That's it. We did the cage just for safety. We did harnesses.
Yeah.
We have a V-box in it.
And then max downforce front, max downforce back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just went max.
And then
and sway bars are just medium everywhere.
Sway bars medium.
Medium.
Are you going to change that?
I don't think so.
Okay, because we're hard medium.
Yes.
Okay.
But then it also depends on the tire size, right? We're 265, 305.
And we're 265, 305.
As well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the back end was stepping out on us, which is why we want stiff in the front.
Got it.
But that was mostly data collected when we had 295s in the back. With 305s, it's better.
It's better.
So it made,
The car still feels oversteering in the high speed, but I use it to like turn the car down too, right? The car will start rotating a little bit.
Yeah.
That lets me stay kind of hooked at 2.
Okay.
I prefer the front because if you get it into like where the car is pushing, then you're just gonna push off the track. I prefer the car to be a little bit loose on the rear, but then maybe that's just driving style. Obviously, this thing's on steel brakes. It's a ceramic car originally.
Oh, and you did a conversion?
So I converted it to steels just for cost.
Okay.
And then I'm running the Race Technologies RE10 pads.
Okay.
I love those.
I like those pads
they
too.
last forever.
Yeah. I didn't know they made a pad for this one. Yeah, I used to run the RE10s on my other car. I like to bite in those.
Yeah, and SRF fluid.
Yeah, SRF.
I did stainless brake lines too.
Okay. And now you're on 200 wear tires.
200 tread wear tires.
And you did a 220.
I think so.
Yeah, like a 220. So what do you, if you put R7s on this, what do you think you'd get?
I did a 220.4, so if I do R7s, I don't know, it should be at least a second or two, maybe more. I'm always conservative, but it should go sub 20, which is like the magic number here at Coda, obviously.
Yeah.
220 is always everyone's just
always trying to break.
We chased it for years. Doug in the 3RS, he just went sub 220, he was stoked.
Just wanted to show you guys what my current setup looks like. This is the front driver's side wheel, and you can see that my sway bar is set to full stiff. My rotors are cooked. This is after 4 track weekends. These are the tension arms that Felix was talking about changing to get more camber in the front. You can see the thrush bushings that's underneath is adjustable. So we chose to not change any of it and to just add camber to the front with shims, and it all worked without any additional parts. So here's my back driver's side wheel, and you can see my rotors are cooked on that as well. Up underneath here, you can see that the sole over axle pipes, the ceramic coating on it, peeled off. So we had to put header wrap on it to keep it from baking the undercoating. This is where I actually had some rub from the tire on the inside of the wheel well liner. So we had to tap that out to get rid of the rub on that. You can see how the tire's touching the over axle pipe as well. But it's not enough to do any damage to the tire. Underneath here, you can see my sway bar is set to medium. We have the tow hookups underneath, and my engine is looking good. We haven't made any mods to the headers. You can still see the factory headers with the cats there. We talked about doing some things, but so far we've not made any modifications to the headers of the cats. You can see the other side here is also clean. Nothing changed there. Then you can see the over axle pipe starting at this point and coming into the rear exhaust. No mods to the rear muffler, just the over axle pipes. You can see the ceramic coating peeled off there as well, and you can see where we put the header wrap. The undercoating was getting just scorched, so we had to put more insulation on it. And you can see how the rear tire is touching on this side as well. There's the camber plates on the rear. And you can see how we tapped out the liner on this side as well to keep it from hitting the 305s. There you can see the header wrap. Okay, so we started with negative 3.4 in the front and negative about 2.5 in the back. And that worked pretty well. I couldn't point real well in like the basically would be like 13, 14, which is where I can really test tires. I couldn't point really well through there unless the tires were brand new. So what we did this time is we went to negative 3.6 in the front from 3.4, and we went to negative 3 in the back from 2.5. And that improved my driving a lot. So I really like this setup. It was about how much camber I had in my old Cayman in the front. So this is more consistent with what I was used to driving. I can point a lot better. My lap times are a lot lower. So I think we're gonna take this and move it over to Matt's car next. He's already down in the 220 kind of range. I'm in the 223 kind of range. So he should be in the sub 220 range once we get this change in. The other change I made is I went to Giro disc. So my rotors burned up, and let's see, I did 2 sets of pads, so that'd be 4 track weekends. I'll go through a set of pads every other weekend. and I went through 2 sets of pads, so 4 track weekends, and my rotors were dead. So these are the rotors I wanted to go with. These are Giro disc rotors. I have them on all my other cars as well. They have a cooling system in it that's kind of a centripetal system where it moves the air through. They're a little bit larger and they're more rugged and they're lighter weight than the stock rotors. So these are great. My braking feels a lot better. You lose some of the braking when you add negative camber in because the tires aren't level. You get your best braking if everything was completely level. And then if you hammer the brakes when you're under full aero, it's going to take some of the negatives out of the camber. But yeah, these things are great. I love the Giro discs. They don't fade on the other cars that I had where I had a lot of brake fade. These are a lot better for cooling, so I didn't have the brake fading problems. On this car, there's so much cooling already built into the car that I don't think that was a big problem. But yeah, I think it's the way to go. Matt is going to put these on next. I was hoping I would get maybe 6 track weekends or something. But it looks like we're going to be going through these in 4 track weekends. Hopefully these will be more durable, so maybe I'll get back up to 6. In my old Cayman, I would only go through a set of pads once a year, and I would go through a set of rotors like every 2 years. And so just the extra velocity of this car is going through these wearables a lot faster. So it's an added expense to running the GT4 RS. So anyways, that's our package number 2 that we're doing, and we're going to transfer this over to Matt's next, and then the cars will be in sync again, and we'll see what kind of lap times we can get.